Palantino hitting the front from the Tarzino. Palantino just.
Mongolian Khan surging through. Mongolian Khan from Haralkian, Volkstock and Barrel.
But the cleaner won it. The cleaner by a length, Mourinho.
20, 30 James, 30 it in, 30 it on out, 30 it on out.
Tasmania may be the smallest state in Australia geographically, but in recent years it's been punching well above its weight. Despite having only 2% of the country's broodmare banned, it's produced racetrack stars such as Mongolian Khan, Palantino and, of course, the cleaner. As we head toward the Tasmanian yearling sale, we'll explain why horses bred there have been performing so well and introduce you to some of the people driving the industry forward on the Apple Isle.
Tasmanian success stories don't come much better than Jenny Watson. From only 8 broodmares, she bred 2-time Group 1 winner Palantino, an $85,000 sale topper 3 years ago.
Palantino draws away. He's too good. Palantino by 3/4 to Blackheart Butt. But Palantino takes out the Group 1 Maccabi Diva Stakes.
Palantino was just striking right from the word go, and he's lived up to his looks. It was just the most amazing feeling. I mean, it's what we breed for, that elusive Group 1, and now he's won 2. So yeah, it's thrilling.
But it's not only Palantino doing Tasmania proud on the mainland. Jenny herself was recently recognised for her efforts when winning the Dedication to Breeding prize at the National Godolphin Stud and Stable Staff Awards in December. And that night she also won the Overall Excellence Award ahead of the 5 other category winners.
I felt a bit like, why am I here when there's all these great people and leaders of the industry, and here I am from Tassie. So it was an exciting night, and it was great to meet other people, the other finalists. I've made some friends through it, and keep in touch on Facebook, and so it was lovely. It was really, really nice.
Jenny won her award for her work as foaling supervisor at Armadale Stud for the past 35 years. Armadale, situated in the picturesque Meander Valley in the north of the state, is perhaps Tasmania's best-known stud and is now in the 3rd generation of the Wishaw family.
We've been involved in racing in Tassie since the 1960s. My late grandfather was a good sportsman, and when he retired from playing cricket and footy, got into horse racing and pretty much started the stud in the mid-60s. Started Standing Stallions in 1964, and my mother and father took it on in the 90s, and yeah, I guess I'm trying to fly the flag today.
For David, Armadale's success and that of Tasmania's is based on more than simply carrying on family traditions.
It really is some of the most fertile land in Australia. The climate is much more temperate and cooler than mainland Australia. I draw the analogy to it's more like Ireland and New Zealand than anywhere else in Australia. Obviously I've got a bias for it down here. We've grown up down here. I just think the horses do very well. They're probably slightly slower maturing than in a lot of the hotter places in Australia, but I think in doing that they probably lay down plenty of bone, and they're normally really sound. There's something that if you go back through a lot of the Tassie stats, the horses are very sound, and I think that's got to do with their sort of slower growth pattern, I think. When you see stats like Tassie producing more Group 1 winners per mare population than anywhere else in Australia, I think it makes you sit back and think, crikey, they mightn't have the best genetics down here, but they must be doing some things right. So I think a few people have probably stood up and had a look in the last couple of years and realised we are punching well above our weight.
The Wishaws are no strangers to standing good stallions. In recent years, they've had Savoir Vive, sire of the Cleaner, and Danehill's son Ladoni, sire of million-dollar earner Lady Lynette. In the 1970s, French import St Breville sired Tasmania's best ever galloper, Citizen, who won the Caulfield, Moonee Valley and Sandown Cups, as well as the Queen Elizabeth, BMW and Caulfield Stakes at Weight for Age. The farm has just announced Group 1 place getter Alpine Eagle will join its stallion roster this year, but it needs further an Encosta de Lago half-brother to multiple Group 1 winner Hallowed Crown, who was already making his mark with his first runners.
And when we saw his dam side, it just had stallion written all over it for me. Obviously Zabeel, he's under the third dam, and for such a great sire, and a sire in a similar climate to us in New Zealand, we jumped on a plane and looked at him and bought him the day we saw him. It's a great family. Obviously, it was franked when Hallowed Crown came out and won 2 Group 1s.
It's early days, but with Needs Further having sired a pair of 2-year-old winners before Christmas, it looks like Armadale's investment will pay off.
To have Needs Further get off on the start he has, he's obviously got 2-year-old speed on his dam side. His dam Crown Glory ran second in the slipper, but we never expected him to throw early 2-year-old runners based on the climate and the type of mares he got. But for him to be equal first season sire before Christmas on winners, I think was just huge.
For buyers attending the Magic Millions Tasmanian sale on February 16, there will be plenty of opportunities to buy stock of Needs Further, with the young stallion represented by 22 lots in the 133 horse catalogue.
After the break, we look at the upcoming Tasmanian Yearling sale and incentives for buyers to turn up at Launceston on February 16. With recent increases in prize money in Tasmania, the racing and breeding industry is on an upward spiral. There's plenty to look forward to in Tassie during the 2017 yearling sale season.
Magic Millions representative Tim Brown believes the sale can continue to grow after strong results last year.
The average was up to 22,500 last year, which again was a massive increase from 10,000 3 years ago. A reflection on the stock and the buying bench coming down. I think this year's book is very good. We've got 49 individual stallions represented, which is a phenomenal number in any sale. So there's a great diversity for the buying bench. There's some Victorian families which they're familiar with, and the usual farms down here which are synonymous with Tasmania: Armadale, Grenville, Brooklyn Park, Alva, have got good drafts. And also some of the mainland trainers are realising that these horses are good horses. They're race horses they're buying.
Among the buying bench who have been frequent visitors to Tasmania are Darren Weir, John McArdle, Denise Martin, Simon Zara and Matthew Ellerton, as well as Ken Keys and Terry O'Sullivan.
The reason they keep returning is it's a small sale, it's a select sale, and they've had great results from the sale.
They understand the product they're looking at. They probably come down, the horses aren't pushed along probably quite as hard as they are for a lot of other sales. So they come down buying horses which have got improvement in them. They know they can get people in at at an entry level into racing that's affordable, and they've had damn good success. As I said, none of them have got a Golden Slipper winner out of Tassie, but they've had plenty of stakes horses.
With 40 lots in the sale, Armadale has the biggest draft and will continue to do so for the foreseeable future.
But we're also very conscious that we need the support of Magic Millions in Tasmania. And by taking all our best horses out of Tasmania every year, it probably weakens the draft down in Tassie and probably makes it less appealing for others to come to Tassie. So I've been very conscious that we need to leave some really nice horses down here in Tassie to lure people down, I guess. And often they'll come down to look at a horse by a mainland sire, and they'll often take one home by ours.
Having sold the top 4 lots last year, David is hoping for further success in 2017.
I think our best colt is by Needs Further. He's out of a mare, a Savoir Vivre mare called Phil's Choice. She's had 1 to race for 3 wins. So it's a half to Moonlight's Choice, and it's with Darren Weir. We've got a lovely get up and run colt out of Love the Moment. She's a stakes placed full sister to Iggy McCool, who's a stakes winner in Victoria. The colt's by Caroscio. He looks like a really get up and run colt, looks like he'll go early. As far as the fillies go, we've got a gorgeous half sister to Up Cups, who won both the Launceston and Hobart Cups last year. We're preparing her on behalf of Rick and Tina Polly, who have been long time farm clients, and she's just got that X factor. She moves really well, she's got a heap of class. I think she's a real standout. But once again, it's a pretty even draft. I could pick out 10 horses that I'd talk about and love, but I guess they're horses that have caught my eye and I really like.
Another stalwart of the Tasmanian industry is Graham McCulloch, breeder of Mongolian Khan. Graham's Grenville stud will be represented by 18 yearlings, and like David, he believes the Tasmanian environment provides the perfect start for a young thoroughbred.
I think our horses are a bit tougher, and I think we're very passionate about our horses in Tassie, and I think we've got fantastic country to rear the horses on, and I think that's our biggest asset probably, and it's probably not broadcast enough really, that I think our country that we rear our horses on, we breed tough, sound horses down here in Tasmania.
Asked to highlight his best, Graham points to a full sister to recent Flemington listed winner Kenja Wood.
She's a lovely big strong filly, and Kenja Wood's going so well on the mainland, and his last two starts he's won at Caulfield and Flemington, and won a listed race. I think it was at Caulfield in his last start. So she'd be the standout of my draft, but I've got quite a few other nice horses there, fairly even draft, but I'd have to say she's the standout.
But Graham is already looking forward to the 2019 sale, when he'll have a yearling to offer by Mongolian Khan.
Yeah, and I've been lucky enough to send a mare to him, and got a mare in foal to him over there in New Zealand, so that's nice. Hopefully first stallion that I've bred to have a mare in foal to him. Yeah, hopefully we'll bring him back or the progeny back to Tassie, and probably sell it in Tassie.
For those on the hunt for the new Palantino, Jenny Watson offers 5 yearlings, with her favourite being a son of Needs Further.
He's just a stunning horse, but they're all really nice types, and they've all been raised exactly the same as Palantino, so fingers crossed there might be another one amongst them.
Unlike other states, those running racing in Tasmania play a key role in supporting February's sale.
4 or 5 years ago we joined a tri-party agreement with Tas Breeders and Magic Millions to conduct the sale, and I suppose Tas Racing's taken on an operational nature and assisted Magic Millions in the marketing of the Tassie sale, and I think the results of the past 3 years has really seen that involvement between the three parties and that relationship that's been put together really coming ahead.
And Tas Racing recognised the need for breeding to remain sustainable.
Yeah, look, the breeding industry is vitally important to Tasmania. It contributes economic activity to the state, provides employment, and it also provides the racing population required, or helps assist the racing population required for the number of race meetings that we put on.
One local stallion with 3 yearlings in the sale, who was already writing his name into the record books, is Wordsmith. His owners and Tasmanian racing's biggest supporters, Paul and Elizabeth Geard, had tried to buy Written Tycoon as a stallion prospect, but instead returned from a Melbourne sale with the son of Testarossa.
Wordsmith has been a really great purchase for us, and it was just by chance that I purchased him at a sale in Melbourne, and he's been running somewhere about 70% winners to runners in the last few years, and it's just unheard of anywhere. And at the time when I purchased him, I was looking at a stallion, and they told me they wanted $500,000 for him, and I decided that was too much, and I finished up getting Wordsmith for $26,000, so a big difference, but I think he's been just as good. Looking at his success, I guess, and we're looking at about 60% winners to runners and 6 or 7% stakes winners, and this is just unheard of. And I know there's been some good stallions in Tasmania, but there's none has ever come up like that.
This success has been built on limited books. At his first season to stud in 2009, he covered just 16 of the Geard's own mares. Now mares are coming from the mainland to visit Paul's Pride and Joy.
Yes, we have. We've had some mainland horses come over to him the last 2 years. And yeah, look, it's great that they've come over here, and with the sales going on, there's some been purchased at the Magic Million sales, and they've gone over to the mainland. So I'm looking forward to seeing those front up in the next 12 months. We did have a very good offer 12 months ago to send him over there, and we were offered very good money. And yeah, it was tempting, but I'm very loyal to Tasmania, and I'd be wary of getting another stallion as good for myself, and You know, as I said, we're breeding good racing horses for ourselves, and that's where it stops.
Nobody can doubt the Gids' commitment to the state. They have 34 horses in training, all of which are easily recognisable as they carry the words GGs in their name.
Look, I no doubt our horses and my horses are good enough now to race on the mainland, and I follow the times of racing, and our horses are running as good a times as the mainland.
Coming up, another Tasmanian training establishment setting records, the envy of any state in Australia. Welcome back to our look inside the Tasmanian racing and breeding industries, and another training stable taking on and beating the best.
For proof that Tasmania's best can compete anywhere in Australia, look no further than Scott Brunton. Alongside his father, David, Scott has been champion trainer in the state for 8 seasons, and his idyllic stable on 7 Mile Beach has been the launchpad for many successful raids on Victorian racing.
Yeah, we've been very, very lucky. The Tasmanian sale and the Tasmanian breeders have been very good to us. Been lucky enough to train some terrific horses. Lady Lynette was an exceptional mare. She cost about 11 or 12,000 at the local sales and went on to win 1.2 million. She was tremendous. Banker Mo, I think he cost $2,100 at the local sale. Mandy Gum purchased him, and she thought he was cheap and she might have a little bit of fun with him, and I think he earned 800,000. So we've been very lucky in those instances. We've got a great owner group, great support base, and we've been able to mix success over in Melbourne and locally, so it's been fantastic for us.
Alongside the likes of Darren Weir and Simon Zara, Scott will no doubt be active at his local sale.
Sort of like to buy locally, and sort of, you know, we've got a beautiful thing down here in Tasmania, so to keep it going, you've got to stick the money in the state and keep at it. But the horses that are prepared for the sales down here, they'd mix it in most sales, not on type. So I think good upbringing is paramount to how they perform and how they go forward as a racehorse in the future. We've got unique farms, great places all around the state. Like from north to south, they all breed. And a lot of them do go to the sales.
And for those thinking about racing a horse in Tasmania, Scott says the rewards are significant when compared to the lower costs.
We charge a lot lower rate than the Victorians or like you say, Sydney siders. It's just to work in with the economy down here, I guess. So it's a cheaper way to have your horse trained. You know, this is seriously good prize money for the amount of money you're paying for the horses and for the amount of money you charge to train the horses down here.
And it seems Scott's confidence in Tasmania is matched by many of those involved in the local industry. Just 240 foals were born in the state last year, down almost 200 on 10 years previously. Those breeders that remain are committed to the cause.
I've got big visions for the Tassie industry. I really believe it's a great place to breed horses. I'm hoping we can encourage some more investment here. Broodmare numbers have declined in the last 10 years from 750 mares being covered in Tassie to under 300. So it's obviously a huge decline. I really think we can turn that round. I'd love to see the broodmare numbers get back up to 500 or 600 and us be producing enough racing stock to support the racing industry down here. The broodmare band in their own has narrowed but strengthened. I think we're a pretty cohesive group that have got one another's back, and we're very passionate about what we do, and I think that probably stands us in good stead.
Buoyed from her triumph as a Group 1 winning breeder and recognition for her contribution to the thoroughbred industry, Jenny Watson agrees.
You know, we produce really good, tough, sound racehorses that can win at the highest level, because you've got Mongolian Khan as a recent Group 1 winner as well as Palantino. It's full of people who love the industry and are passionate about it, and I think, yeah, we shouldn't sell ourselves short because we can breed with the best of them.